I got him, Joe! I got the laugh we were over the wood. He comes in so tardy, gets him by the ankle. We knew on that day that was a gold medal winner. That was going to be classic.
It wasn't what, to me it was his face. I couldn't really look at his face because he'd have these expressions when you knew he didn't know what anyone was talking about. So I made a choice just not to look at him. But I knew when I would start to laugh. I would.
Yeah,
I remember the cast breaking up after almost everything we did. And I've never experienced that before, where the cast would do a scene and then when I'd say cut, they just start laughing and breaking up. They understood the humor of this, and it is a black comedy. That's what it's intended to be, and I think it is. This is who they are.
Right here.
I have a question for Matthew. When you read a script like this, did you know that this was going to be such an iconic character that was going to follow you maybe for the rest of your career? And how did you feel about that, knowing that people may ask you about this movie and this role for decades and decades?
Question was, do you want to read a script like this? I know it's going to be an iconic character.
When you came into this, was it going to be an iconic character, and were you worried about that?
I wasn't worried about it. No, I didn't know. I read it. I mean, it came off the page for me. I haven't never told you this, Tracy. I think I told you this, Billy. First time I read it, it didn't matter what mood as an actor when you read something that you're in. The first time I read it, I was disgusted. I remember throwing the script up. I said, oh, that's just icky. I don't even want to be a part of that. And I forgot who it was I talked to, but I went and they said, no, man, read it again. It's pretty freaking funny. And I was like, funny? What are you talking about? I went back and I read it. And all this, I had 40 big laughs, and all of a sudden got the joke, met with Billy, and that was great, and then I was in. I didn't know that it would be whatever it was going to be. I'm happy with what it turned out to be. It was definitely something that, you know, I was very excited to get out of bed every morning to come to work. Every scene's charged with great dialogue. Again, we were talking about, Billy was talking about, what Tracy wrote was not something that we didn't go to set and work on, hey, let's get the dialogue right. That discussion was done just after reading it the first time. You go, well, you don't need to change any dialogue. You can stick to that, and that's definitely not true with 95% of the things that I've worked on. You want to keep pining it. There was none of that on it. It was you got in and you did it, and it was there. And if you said you couldn't really screw up. You could have a different interpretation of what he wrote, but you couldn't really screw it up. And plus, if you did screw it up, you didn't really have take two, did we, Billy? And it kind of lined right in there.
No,
I'm very happy with it.
You know, what I appreciate most in the films that I see and the ones that I've done is spontaneity. I'm much more interested in the spontaneous reaction of actors than perfection. If you're doing Shakespeare, where everything is in a certain meter, you know, and it's kind of blank verse, that's different. You know, you have to really polish that and rehearse it very diligently. But in something like this, I felt that I had a perfect cast and I could allow them to be spontaneous.